game with shotguns. Hits the triple there, but looks like we were able to get this game back on for you guys. So it's now at NaVi versus LVT. So still game 1 reset. One team does have the edge. I want to say it was perhaps NaVi in the first playthrough, but might get confirmation of that here shortly.
Yeah, we'll wait for confirmation from the admins as we see the confirmation of that overshield from Jimbo, using that shroud screen to secure the ever-important power-up. But before he's even able to extend onto C-plat, he's only got less than a quarter of it. Now he's down. Great job there from LVT to negate that overshield.
Sab also with the sniper. We talked about it before we got on the cast. Sab's secretly one of the best snipers in the game. Doesn't get enough credit in my opinion. So love to see him with the sniper here. Is he going to be able to hit some shots to extend this lead even further?
Sab sitting at 3-0. To maintain and extend that with the snipe. You see Piggy just looking to make sure he extends his life. Uses the repulsor to not only get that grenade out a little bit quicker towards the garage door, but gets up to safety, but not before shortly going down after that. As we see NaVi finally start to score some time on the board, but not before a minute from LVT. So I think we saw the sandbox go into NaVi's favor, and LVT takes the lead. What is that about live fire? Because it seems like that's king of the hill kind of a thing, but it just seems like live fire, regardless of the game type, some team always takes the points lead and the other team takes the sandbox. Why is that, Eli?
Well, the sandbox is far away from the zones, right? So you kind of have to decide, are we going to go for the items or are we going to go for the strongholds? The overshield is as far away from any zone as it could possibly be. And after you get it, you still have ground to cover before you can make a push. So oftentimes, I mean, to be more objective efficient, you should always prioritize the objective because, you know, even if they get the items, you still have a chance to push them back and continue scoring in strongholds.
As we see another overshield up. And I believe that's going to go easily, uncontested, into the suit of NaVi. As we see Diagram using that tunnel system like a subway system, looking to traverse his way along the map, but doubles back instead here to A. Just had a call out. Regardless, has the back of a few, and he's going to pull NaVi back into A. Not before potentially looking at a trip cap. As we see Diagram now looking to defend his turf. 3 up on each side. Diagram pushing through the sandbags here. And it's a trade out from Glory and Sab. This should finish off this sequence, but no, Diagram with low shields is going to elect to reshield, reposition, and I love this play.
So smart to disengage from that. He was pushing into what was certainly an uphill battle. Probably recognized he had spawners behind him at the overshield that he could just push over to C-side with. And this push is going to be good so far. Is anyone left on LVT to actually cap C, though? Looks like they might have got traded out, and it's going to be NaVi continuing to score here.
60 straight, 56 straight seconds for LVT, but it's been 90 plus and rolling for NaVi ever since. A great counterpunch as we see KingJay looking to punch back with that sniper rifle. Imagine he's going to take that to the top of tower here. Play a little gatekeeper here on C, but you really got to push out. You really have to extend yourself here. That opening break snipe there on zMightys looks to do just that, but the flank is on with the heat wave. Glory has the kit, has the T-squared combination of Halo Infinite with that heat wave and the snipe.
Call it the Lucid combo in this game. Lucid was just using it in the game we saw before. He's been using it for a long time, but this kid, Glory, I've seen him make some Lucid-esque plays before. This guy can hit some insane shots, some of the most skill we've seen come out of Europe in recent times. Call him the Irish barcode. Definitely the best player out of Ireland we've seen in a very long time. But can he put it to work here? LVT's objective efficiency is going to come into play here. I feel like they are generally the more objective efficient team. Is it going to be a factor here?
Glory looking to draw in an opponent, takes down Sab, loses possession of those 2 power weapons. I believe they're getting pretty low on ammo, so not giving up too many resources, it looks like, to LVT, as LVT has regained control of A, B, and C. KingJay looking to make sure it's a trip cap, but A starts to rotate towards NaVi. Diagram pushing up towards the C side, takes some shots in the back, and this 2 sequences in a row, Eli, where I love Diagram's decision-making and positioning. When he takes damage, he does a great job to make sure that it doesn't compound for his opponent. He always seems to reshield and reposition.
Which is interesting, right? Because we know him as this young, aggressive, Slayer-type player, just like his twin brothers, or triplet brothers, sorry. They all play very aggressive, but Diagram's showing that he's kind of matured a lot as a player and recognized you can't play like that all the time. And oftentimes in strongholds, if you can just maintain your numbers advantage, you're going to also maintain your strongholds advantage.
Yeah, Glory looks like he was in between 2 decisions there. Do I want to play the snipe like I would the oddball, or do I want to contest for B? He tried to contest for B, and you got to risk it to get the biscuit, but that reward is not going to be there as LVT takes control of the snipe, takes control of A, B, and C, and looking primed here to regain the lead as they do just that, 130 and rolling to 124.
Not only that, but LVT knows that most of the surviving members of NaVi are still at C. That's why we saw Sab kind of baiting B, waiting for someone to show up, but I don't think he expected Glory to show up from A side. Piggy, though, getting a kill to stop the push into A.
Oh, did that stick? No.
I don't think it did. But both teams playing very well. I'm noticing very good disciplined rotations where you're not really forcing a fight, but just recognizing, okay, I'm going to experience less pressure if I go to this stronghold, so I'll just go there instead. Both teams playing that game very well.
And Diagram, I think he's just been hanging out here at the B pillars, making it a pillar of his strategy as he finally goes down to Jimbo. Great takedown there from Jimbo. His Diagram had really extended his life. Had been alive for at least a couple minutes, and I think average life duration. That's not talked about enough. I think that's an important stat that really determines who some of the best players are, and if you're looking to team with them, who some of the best teammates might be.
Absolutely, but Sab did a great job to end that life, knew that was the last player on the map, rushed Jimbo, bottom mid, was able to take that player out. Looks like Diagram able to get the overshield during the next sequence. Glory, though, with the double kill, that might completely neutralize the power of this overshield. It's not as
capped C yet.
Hasn't capped it, and
oh my God, they reset C despite the 360. Potential double kill here from Diagram.
Oh my God.
He will not get it, has to reload. A little bit of a frustrating sequence now for Diagram.
Glory goes for the crazy shot. Imagine if he hits that, you would hear a roar from the main stage.
Yeah.
The Diagram keeping his cool throughout this whole situation. You said it looked very frustrating, and I agree with you. If you get repulsed more than once in a single fight, I am checked.
Like, and then have to reload on a,
yeah, you
on a
have to
player
reload,
that's one
getting
shot.
repulsed twice, but he somehow maintains his life, maintains control of C for his team, buys a lot of time for his teammates to show up as well.
Now LVT, despite what looked like a strong push from NaVi as they doubled up on LVT's initial lead, LVT take it right back, 180, excuse me, and rolling into the 200s with the potential triple cap here. KingJay going to make that much more likely as he takes down 2 and all 4 dummy spawns, it looks like, for NaVi. This is a chance here for LVT to close it out.
This is the best possible setup you can have. A trip cap and the other team spawning at the overshield. You've got members on both the C plat and A plat, just gatekeeping them from going anywhere. So many different angles to fight. If they get several down here and predict the next spawn, this could steamroll into the game win.
And Snipedrone, he's going to get A, sure, but tick, 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 tick. Those seconds continue to stack up for LVT, needing only 10 more. And Snipedrone, he doesn't have the support. It doesn't look like he has the play to push out as 2 more to go down for NaVi. And if they don't get B here, that'll do it. The final push, Diagram looking to take down and defend that B location, but it's KingJay instead with a double. Grenade, melee.
And the Shroud, just to make it that much easier to stay alive during the next sequence. Shroud was all the way inside B. You could argue it doesn't have a ton of value, but that's probably going to do it if they can get this last kill on B. This could be the game right here. NaVi forced to desperate, but power too strong right now.
Wow.
But they did instead also, they sent some resources to A. Diagram trying to get this kill to make it that much harder for them to win. I have to think that was a bit aggressive from Diagram. They didn't have to desperate that hard to stop and get the win right there. He could have taken his time.
It was a topsy-turvy situation where one team loses 2, the next team loses 2, and it's back and forth, and in the chaos, you have to be the most calm. And we did not see that there from LVT as they aren't able to secure the final 2 seconds, and now you have that nerves question come into play where you're thinking like, oh gosh, we should already be over with this game, but we're still playing NaVi. But as a competitor, you have to make sure those thoughts don't start trickling into your head. All you got to do is win one more sequence if you're LVT, but Snipedrone's looking to shut that down with a double kill. He takes down Piggy. Now with a potential triple here on Diagram, all the while, NaVi looked to secure a trip cap.
Diagram, this is not where you want to be as the last player. Those spawns are now heavily staggered. Diagram going to be off the map for another 5 seconds, while the rest of his team have to get control of 2 zones. 3 dead now for LVT. Diagram spawns back up, but he's not going to be able to do very much. Remember, NaVi has a lead in this game. I'm not sure by how many points, so they could be on the verge of winning this.
That was it?
That must have been it there.
Oh my God, NaVi secure it. NaVi come back. 248 to 150, probably more like 180, I guess, 190 maybe after the reset, but wow, they just stole that.
I gotta call it, man. Diagram overheated in that moment. He was already doing enough.
And it's such a far cry from what we have been talking about the whole game. How great he did when low shields, how great he did in a disadvantageous position. It was in that final sequence where got a little ahead of himself, overextended a little bit where he didn't need to. And because of that, NaVi steal it 250 to 248, one of the best Strongholds games you'll see all day.
And if anybody tuned in, maybe partway through that match, you might be a little confused. So there was a reset in the first playthrough of that game where NaVi had, I believe, a 50-point advantage. So that's why they only needed around 200 points to win. I didn't know the exact number, but that's why we saw the game ended early when it looked like LVT was winning. NaVi actually had extra points
still, though,
them to dub.
Despite that, that game was right there for LVT. Despite the reset and reconfiguration of the series, they still only needed 2 more seconds. And here is one of those examples of the patience we saw from Diagram in a frustrating sequence where he's getting repulsored twice, has a player down to no shields, has to reload it, but plays the process really well. And it all starts to fall apart right around here. Eli, talk me through it.
So right here, LVT is protecting this push from B. They're doing so very successfully. They see that that A is going to start getting capped here shortly. And when they see A starting to get capped, they feel the desire to push in and stop it. KingJay gets taken down. I think right here is where Diagram is doing his best to protect B in this final moment. It's actually when they hit the 248 mark. So here, this play right here. Diagram fighting for B. Successfully push it off, but NaVi, we didn't see it in the replay there, but NaVi started to cap A. Diagram rushed in and died as he did so. And that's what gave the opening for NaVi to get control and get back into this game and ultimately win it. And this play from Snipedrone here at the very end, this was the game changer as well. He played his life perfectly. He's watching his teammate who's one shot, takes the angle that needs to be taken to take that player down.
Let your duo go right, you go left, cover all your ground, cover all of your bases, and that's how NaVi did it. Down by over a minute to LVT's 248. An unbelievable comeback here from NaVi. This is it. I think this is the sequence right here. Maybe we're getting that replay. Eli, here we go. Here's Diagram. Maybe he gets a double. Maybe that's why he felt so pressed to get one more. All I need is one more. As the third does, in fact, go down. How does this happen? All the while, all that energy and attention is on B, but NaVi are about to steal A.
So he should have predicted to find more than one opponent in A here because
get damage out, right?
Yeah, you just got a lot of kills. So of course they're spawning up. If we have anybody moving towards C, then all the future spawners are going to be in A. We see zMightys and Glory both spawn here. zMightys is getting control. Glory is taking a great position on the outside here. He's the one that ultimately takes Diagram's attention, but it's because zMightys is there while Glory uses his cover very well to bait Diagram into continuing that fight. Mighty's gets the clock stop, the double kill, and the victory here ultimately. Great plays from Mighty's and Glory to bait each other there.
This is a great opportunity to reset the stage and really bring the context to this series. Eli, this is pool play, but let's call it. This series determines who makes it to tomorrow. Because if you get 4th in your pool, this is likely that battle for 2nd, 3rd, 4th maybe.
Yeah,
so this is it. This is a championship bracket this is a championship bracket match in disguise where we predict the loser of this series goes home early.
You're absolutely right. The other 2 members of this pool are FaZe and Quadrant. Both of these teams have so far not been able to get a win off of either of those juggernaut teams. So this very well is likely to be the determining factor. Who goes home in top 16 and who continues on in the bracket tomorrow. This game, too, going to be so consequential. So far, NaVi with an early lead.
Yeah, this is unquestionably the pool of death. I mean, all 4 teams, unquestionably top 12 teams at minimum. It just seems like a shame that one has to get top 16 as none seem to be at that tier of Halo as we hop back on board here for game 2. Slayer on streets as NaVi get out to an early double-up lead, 6-3. Have control of the PD. Curious to see who has the sandbox, but for now it's zMightys pushing up with that traditional battle rifle, takes down Sap, pushes up to the planners, get a little bit of high ground on KingJay, has a numbers advantage as well as he pushes in with his teammate. Great job here. Love the positioning, love the teamwork, love the push from NaVi as they build on that lead.
Yeah, and right now with the weapons advantage, NaVi's going to be looking to apply further pressure to LVT. Sab pushing up here on the B side. Love the push here from LVT. They're actually going to go over to Sab to keep him alive, probably expecting the push to come on this side, taking positions where they can kind of gatekeep NaVi from even getting in. So far, this is playing pretty slow for a Street Slayer.
Really is. We haven't had a standoff, but you'd almost imagine they're there was a standoff at some point, as the pace of play has felt rather toned down, as NaVi look to continue on their lead. Up by 5 here, 11-6, nearly maintaining that double up. I think that's always something to look for when you're at a 2.0 KD, when you're doubled up on the team in a Slayer. Can you maintain that proficiency? That's the question for NaVi as they extend into this next stretch.
Rockets did come up. Looked like both teams were baiting it. Some player did pick it up, but I think was taken down. Not sure if that rocket has been picked back up by either team here. Love to see the positioning kind of chess match that we're seeing across the map. Both teams kind of spreading out. Right here, LVT noticing a weakness in the setup from NaVi. They don't hesitate to push through it, get a couple kills of their own, and they close the gap in the scoreline.
LVT previously with a 2+ advantage, taking down 2 for NaVi, and they're looking to make sure that staggers and continues on as they do that by taking down zMightys. But Jimbo does a great job defensively, stopping LVT from coming back anymore as they've maintained that 4 or 5 kill lead here, 17-12. Jimbo looking to push up through the PD side of the map, has 2 players to worry about for LVT, but Jimbo has help.
Getting trapped in the PD is not where you like to be. It's very easy for a team to come in and flush you out from multiple angles. We see a triple kill out of Jimbo, the veteran, the leader of this squad, longest standing member of this team. He's putting on a show.
Gut check moment for LVT right here. Because of the way that game 1 ended, because of the way this game 2 started, this feels like it's it. This is a gut check moment here for LVT. How do they respond after tremendous adversity? At the end of game 1, the beginning of game 2, hopping on board here with Diagram, looking to anchor that spiker side of C. And here's the standoff we were sort of alluding to, Eli, as we start to see some shots go out. Stalker, though, in the hands of NaVi. So despite LVT with that control of C, it's NaVi with the Stalker, nonetheless. Piggy continues on through the arcade and takes down Glory. That's a massive win. Another takedown for Sab as he takes down Mighty, and lead growing, though, for NaVi. It's beyond the 8 kills, now 9. Stretched to 10 at one point, despite what looked like a really good sequence for LVT. NaVi are dominating.
We saw LVT send a 4-man push up the driveway. That's pretty uncommon in this game. You usually want at least one player watching the outside or covering the flank. I think that possibly could have been a better push if they just kept one player top C, you know, just watch the escape routes of your opponents as you push out. All 4 members of LVT, they do end up getting kills, but it ends up trading out, so it doesn't actually flip to their favor. Now NaVi growing their lead to 11. This is not what you want to see at the halfway point.
Yeah, this is tough because in Slayers, the rule of thumb is to slow things down, but on a map like Streets with so many sandbox options across the entirety of the map, you slow down, you give up the chance to pick up things like the Sentinel Beam, or the Stalker, the Shotgun even, the Bandit, which we see on screen here as Piggy looks to get some damage, some important damage on Glory. Glory doesn't like what he sees and maybe even gets called back there by his teammate. Jimbo wants to bait and switch this right here. Let's see what goes down.
See, this is kind of the spread I was looking for with this push from LVT. Is it going to work out, though? LVT looks like they're heavy.
Trying.
They're leaning towards the B side. Looks like 3 players contesting Planners and PD. They were able to actually break all the way into B here, slowly pushing their numbers up further and further, seeing how much space they can be allotted. Right now, with good damage, you expect the push to come in, get a kill, but Glory able to get a double kill during that sequence. That's going to stop LVT short.
A little hesitant, it looked like there. And for me, once Sab had no intel on the grenade tosses at Red Room, he had all the intel, knowing that his opponent was not in Red Room. Next best option is down the ramp, and that's exactly where they all were. Despite having damage, didn't push through and did not take advantage of that situation as NaVi have built more than a 10-kill, now 10-kill lead. Wow.
Now, if you'll recall, earlier in the tournament, we saw Shopify versus Native White, an incredible comeback by Native White on this map, but it's going to take that kind of discipline on the side of LVT to come back into this. And I know that they have it in the tank, but like you said, this adversity is kind of causing some hesitation on the side of LVT. It doesn't seem like they're as confident with their pushes as they could possibly be here.
LVT needs to plan a heist if they want to steal this game from NaVi. They need to steal the sandbox. They need to steal those rockets that we just saw NaVi pick up. We need to see the next Stalker in the hands of someone like KingJay, because right now it's starting to stack up against LVT as we see the captain with that Sentinel Beam now absolutely cooks on land. KingJay looking to play a support role with it in his back pocket, but Diagram with the Hail Mary grenades takes down Glory.
Great nade here. This is going to open the push. This is going to open up the whole map for LVT to push in. We see KingJay taking this direct route up through the ATM side. Looks like we had another member of LVT push through the B side and get good damage that opens up the double kill, but zMightys off of his spawn finds a kill right away.
Eli, that's 2-3 times in this match we've seen a double kill for LVT, and I look down at the scoreboard thinking it's going to start getting closer and closer, but no, it's still a 10-kill lead for NaVi. How have they been able to maintain that despite, again, every time we're on the POV of LVT, it's, but based on the eye test, it looks like they're coming back, but they're not.
From what I've seen, they have taken the best possible routes off of their spawn points when they do go down so that they're back in the fight and finish up on the damage that their teammates have started, so that anytime LVT is able to get a kill, it gets traded out anyways because they're so fast off of their spawn, they're so fast rotating into better angles, and they know that they just have to trade out kills for the rest of the game and they win by default. So that's definitely the game plan for NaVi here. We see great teamwork here. It seems like they're baiting and switching just better than LVT at the moment. LVT unable to find any ground, and this lead is only mounting.
NaVi, they're executing with the staggered spawn control like we've seen Quadrant do in recent memory, as they have continuously dominated the spawns for LVT, continuously staggered their spawns, as we see Piggy gonna fight back 45, 46 to 31. I hate to say they can't come back and do it, but it just feels like this is as uphill of a battle as you can imagine. You might even want to start getting those strats ready for game 3, because this looks all but over.
Yeah, Rocket's also going in the hands of NaVi. This one is all but over. LVT's gonna have to, I think what they're going to need to do here is take a little extended bathroom break. They're going to have a powwow, you know. Not necessarily to ice out the other side, but to just talk about what's going wrong. Like, why are we hesitating? Like, we know how to play this game.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel like we know how to play this game right now because they're kind of pushing things they don't need to push. They're also slowing down when they don't need to slow down. I think they just need to find their footing and find that pacing. They could absolutely come back in the series.
That's right. At one point, we saw massive damage numbers, maybe not the life numbers advantage, but damage advantage nonetheless, and LVT didn't push with it. We saw a little bit of hesitation, and I'm not sure where that comes from, but I agree, Eli. If I'm Coach Thug Nasty, I'm telling these guys, we're down 2-0, let it rip. We know that we can play better. We know that we should be right there with these guys. We were there on lane with them just a month ago.
Right.
And I can say assuredly that we're not seeing LVT's best Halo right now. So, that's a good thing in the sense that if they do find their form, if they do start playing the Halo that we're used to seeing from the likes of them, it's going to be a reverse sweep. And I know every Halo fan loves the Game 5, but I would love a reverse sweep even more. But if you're an EU fan, you're certainly rooting for NaVi, NA, likely a LVT Halo fan. So we appreciate all you guys in the chat for supporting the broadcast and the stream all year. 2023 Halo World Championship. What a treat and an honor this is for you and I, Eli. Been playing Halo together since 2005. Back in the free-for-all lobbies with Walshy and Halo 2, and here we are at the Halo World Championship casting together. Happy to be here with you, brother.
Yeah, you too, man. This has been a treat for sure. I wasn't even sure if I'd be able to make it.
Likewise.
So I'm just thankful to have the opportunity to be here and cast probably some of the best gameplay we're going to see ever, this weekend. I mean, obviously future tournaments could top it, but I mean, I don't know if there's any way this won't be the best Halo we've ever seen based on what we've seen so far this year. Super exciting. I did want to touch back on LVT though, because from the eye test, all of them individually seem to be playing pretty well. They're hitting their shots, they're having moments, they're getting double kills, but they're not collectively clicking as a unit, and I feel like I've seen them have some of the best teamwork in the league to cause some upsets. Like when we saw them upset SSG, their teamwork was impeccable. Especially between the likes of KingJay and Piggy, who have stuck together through the trials and tribulations of Halo. True. They have stuck together. So because of that, we expect a higher level of performance. We expect that bait and switch to be risky, but executed and maintained with life advantage for the likes of KingJay and Piggy. Haven't quite seen that duo-ship, if you will, come together. And I think when I watch LVT Halo, that's the team, that's exactly what I expect. I expect to see KingJay and Piggy doing their thing, playing like Batman and Robin, and that's just not been the case yet. I have to agree with you. These guys have played together since, I mean, I can recall them being on Bazaar together, back when Bazaar was a map. So.
All the way back to last year.
Yeah, last year they've stuck together and had so many different sponsors or team names that they've gone under, but those two have stayed the same. Now they bring on the likes of Sab, who's an incredible slayer, no matter what roster he finds himself on, and Diagram, who you could say the same about. So, I mean, these guys have what it takes, but they gotta make it happen now, because this could be their last game.
This could be it.
This could be it.
This could be it.
I think they still play Quadrant after this,
They do.
But that's an even tougher series in theory than against NaVi, obviously. So
Yeah, you have to imagine, Eli, if you want to control your fate, you got to win this series. And you talked about even just the games being important. Just even dropping 2 to NaVi here is a little risky because it starts to bring that tiebreaker back into question. So for LVT, I don't think they got to worry about all that stuff. That's for us in the chat to discuss and build the narrative around. But for LVT, I think you got to take this one game at a time. And look at that game type, Eli, in game 3. My favorite game type for spurring a reverse sweep comeback, because LVT has not had it figured out in this series, but they're going to have at least 15, 20 minutes ideally to find their form once again, to find that communication, to find that confidence, that positioning, and that almost hive mind that you expect again between KingJay and Piggy because of how long they've teamed together, how long they've built that chemistry. I want to see it here in game 3, and if they're able to win game 3, it's a don't hold your breath situation where even NaVi might start feeling a little nervous. I feel like NaVi's approaching this game like we need to close this S out.
I think you're right. I do want to point out on the side of NaVi, though, Jimbo and Snipedrone have also played together for quite a long time, and they're playing very well together. So, and they've got the new young gun, Glory, who I think is one of the Glory and zMightys, honestly, are 2 of the best pickups that we've seen on the European side in a long time, and they've really kind of infused this NaVi roster with a lot of extra juice. I mean, honestly, they just are bringing so much more firepower to the table, and I think that's part of their success so far in this series. But like I said, I know this isn't the end of LVT. If they can pick it up, this could be an even tighter series than we've seen so far.
Yeah, speaking of a couple of montage kids, go check out GloryGGz on Twitter. You want to see some dopamine-filled Halo Infinite clips? Go check out those boys. They have some filthy snipers. I know you know a little bit about hitting some of those sniper multi-kills, Eli. How does someone go from posting those clips on Twitter to getting an opportunity like this with NaVi? I think that's pretty impressive because that's before Glory and zMightys were on NaVi. That's how I knew him, was Twitter clips. And now look at him on the main stage at the Halo World Championship. What's that type of a journey like? You know a little bit about that.
I mean, you got to prove yourself. Halo community is very fickle at times, right? They're only going to give you a chance if they've seen you perform on LAN in most cases and like been actually a powerhouse player within your team and a standout player. It's very hard to do that in this game, you could argue, because the open bracket is full of sharks. Every open bracket is so difficult to make it out. Even if you're a superstar player, you might not even see winners round 4 or 5. So what I think Glory did, though, was not only was he posting these clips, but he's kicking everyone's ass in matchmaking, to be frank. This guy was an absolute demon in the playlist. And then on top of that, he showed up to a LAN and he won the free-for-all as well. So, I mean, if he's able to be the best player in the field of free-for-all, then a lot of these teams are like, okay, this guy's obviously got a ton of skill. He did it on LAN. Let's give him a shot on our team, and he's really stepped up to the plate. I think his first tournament on this roster, he was a little shaky, but he seems to have finally fallen into his comfort zone, and he's picking up, like, okay, this is the timing that I have to play against top teams. He's really figuring it out, and he's been a force to be reckoned with.
All right, if you're taking notes at home, how to become a Halo Pro, start posting those clips on Twitter, start dominating in matchmaking, and then show up at a HCS LAN and do something. Win a free-for-all. Make it out of the open bracket. Do something on LAN, and I agree, Eli. That was that confirmation moment where you kind of had to look around and say, oh my God, this guy's actually for real. He's it. He's him. As we've seen a lot of that here in this series. An incredible comeback in game 1. 249 to 140 or so. As LVT were not able to close it out. And I absolutely feel like, Eli, that the dredge of losing game 1 like that filtered into game 2 and never really gave LVT a chance. It's actually surprising they didn't get staked because they never were really in it. They never really felt like they had a chance to, again, acquire that sandbox and use it to take down all 4 cleanly. We never even saw any of that. So going into this recharge oddball, what's the key? What are some of the difference makers? What's on your mind as we approach this one?
I think they have to step back and recognize that that first game could have gone either way. They made a few like hasty decisions that lost them in the end. And on streets, it's very easy for the game to steamroll out of control with weapons and positioning and just easily predicted spawn points. It's very easy to maintain a lead. But on recharge, I think this actually is the perfect game type for them to come back into this because they've got a lot of time to work on it. They've got a lot of time to find their pacing. I think every member of LVT is absolutely insane with the shock rifle, so if they can get control of that early on and get a few camos under their belt, they're going to make the plays that they need to make to come out to an early lead. But we're hopping on board here, and it looks like Snipedrone, we missed the very opening of the game, but Snipedrone with the shock rifle already. Is he going to put this to work, or is this going to swap hands to LVT?
All right, here we go. Game 3. LVT won a reverse sweep. It starts here. An oddball on recharge. Snipedrone with that ever-important shock rifle in his hand. He's got a triple. No, he does not. Sab with the reversal takes him down, and that was looking like it was about to start rolling for NaVi. A huge shutdown play there from Sab as KingJay with another one.
Wow, so important for that play to happen. That's going to be a surge of energy that they needed in this moment, using the grapple to safely pull the ball in, and we see 2 kills in the kill feed. This is going to be an early setup for LVT. They've got gold and A locked down. This is arguably one of the strongest setups in Halo Infinite. Are they going to be able to watch the crosses successfully, or is NaVi going to be able to squeak their way through?
That was such a crucial moment in this game as zMightys goes down. LVT gets the opening break once again, but that felt like it could have been the game. I know it's early, but you start to build that narrative of, oh, here we go again, you know, if you're LVT going down.
The meme, here we go again.
Here we go again. It absolutely would have been that sort of tone or feeling in the
Piggy, though,
in the Astros.
Insane damage output so far in the beginning. He hit multiple shock rifle shots, grenades were on point, finishing kills. Looks like NaVi was able to break through, but the timing should be such that they don't have a strong setup. Yeah, they're recognizing they cannot hold that side. Strong push coming in from LVT through A into gold, recognizing very wisely by NaVi they need to rotate it to C. This is what I like to see if you're going to be objective efficient at recharge ball from NaVi.
Good, solid opening start for LVT. They stopped that early damage, but NaVi come right back, down by only a second, a count of 3 seconds, and with all 4 down for LVT, NaVi are going to have at least 10 more seconds they put on the board before LVT has a chance to contest. But look at this, fortunate A spawns for them, but that might be unfortunate in the sense that Glory got him off the rip. So LVT off their back foot, staggered spawns without numbers are going to have to push through. Otherwise, this one's going to lead into the 60 seconds for NaVi.
KingJay is not shooting walls. He's looking for the camo player who sticks him. The cheeky play from Glory. The young gun showing why he got picked up here, making plays like that. Finds the quick reflexes headshot on the one-shot player. Gold pipes just to eliminate that player off the map before he can get his shields back is such a big deal. And honestly, we saw such a good-looking setup from LVT, but it was broken instantaneously on the other side. NaVi's been holding this setup now for about a minute.
What if LVT didn't shut down that shock rifle?
Yeah.
It would be, those 22 seconds would be in the hands of NaVi instead. So LVT in a situation where early on they've got to figure it out, and they've got to figure it out now. 2-2 in the feed, Snipedrone goes down. It's a big takedown, but Jimbo earns the oddball off the rip with a little bit of numbers advantage, gets around the corner, but rotates it right into the face of LVT, and if NaVi can win this could be devastating. Mighty's with a back smack on Diagram, a double on Sab, 3 go down for LVT once again, and Snipedrone with that oddball in his hand. This could be it for round 1 right here.
This has been, even though LVT has 22 seconds, so far, in my opinion, NaVi has played this round perfectly. They have perfectly rotated the ball in every situation, holding it here at C. As soon as they reset it, the killing frenzy from Glory. We're talking about this kid. He must have been hearing us. That was an 11-kill streak, I believe, before taking down.
He was 3 and 4.
Oh,
to start.
Wow.
Average, walk in the park. He's taking the dog out. But he turned on the afterburners as he earns that killing frenzy. Such a lovely medal. Love hearing Jeff Steitzer as well.
This is what I was talking about, though. Even when Navi's losing control, they're not losing control because they're playing the ball, they're getting back to gold so they can get the next oddball. Jimbo's getting double kills to secure the next ball. Snipedrone's in perfect positioning to shut down the spawners. This is perfect gameplay so far from NaVi this round.
And there it is again, LVT, because of this big early lead for NaVi, they're forced to desperate in situations where desperation usually only comes, Eli, in the final minute of a match. We're seeing it time after time in the first couple minutes of these matches. So LVT with another 3 down aren't even going to have a chance in round 1, as it really felt like 100-0.
That was perfect. If you want to learn how to play recharge oddball, go to these guys' file share, find this game, pull it up, watch it from every possible angle, and you'll see why they won that round so easily. They made perfect decisions throughout the round. LVT's really got to wake up here. This is their last chance. If they lose this round, they are arguably going home if they cannot beat Quadrant later tonight. So important that they wake up here and now if they want to stay alive here.
KingJay with that camo, but with 3 down for NaVi, KingJay is going to have at least 10 seconds of those 30 go without an effect as he now looks to push up along that blue side. Diagram on the contesting gold, goes down at the bat ledge. KingJay still alive with that camo. You have to imagine he might be making his move close to the players for NaVi, as he does in fact get another melee on Mighty's there at the bottom of gold. But no, they trade out, it looks like. KingJay goes down, Snipedrone picks up the oddball, and NaVi continue the scoring early again.
Wow, huge for them to take down the plasma pistol player there. Important kill. Gets his shields back as well. Here we go. Finding another kill. So far, they haven't had a lot of success with the gold setup. Seems like NaVi very comfortable to just push in both sides with good collapses here. Glory going to be very aggressive off his spawn point, forcing Piggy to back up. And they're going to ultimately probably have to play this unless they can get a couple more kills here.
And it was Jimbo there doing a great job as the last player alive, extending out that line of scrimmage on the needles, pushing out towards gold frags to allow the rest of NaVi to spawn quickly and closely at a elevator. Because of that, they retain control of gold, take 3 down for LVT, and look to regain the lead.
The team that wins an oddball is almost always the team that just holds their setups for longer. How much harder is it to break their setup? Because both teams are going to get control at some point in time, but which team's going to be able to hold that setup for an extended period of time to grow a lead? And so far, that's been NaVi in every situation. Huge.
You needed to take down Mighty's, but you probably would have liked to stay up at gold so you could retain possession of that ever-important power weapon. As the power up goes into the suit of Diagram. Ooh, 2 players here. Tricky situation, but he gets spotted by Glory, earning the trade. You want to talk about trade win condition? There it is right there for NaVi.
Using arguably the worst gun in the game right now, the Disruptor, but his movement, able to close the distance after he broke the shield to hit the melee. This kid is cracked, man. This guy is flying around, had the killing frenzy in the first round, so far being a nuisance in this one. But I kind of like the positioning from LVT here. This could be a good setup if they don't take too much damage here and can actually fight the next push.
Glory had KingJay dead to rights, but Diagram got the shots down to de-scope him. Make that final finishing kill, finishing damage, finishing headshot a little bit more difficult to acquire as KingJay does escape because of it. And now has some more oddball time to work with, and with the 7-second lead, facing a little bit of pressure, they're gonna reset that oddball, but I worry this might just reset right back to NaVi.
Yeah, I don't know if I like the way they're holding that setup either. It felt like they were backing all the way up. You usually want to apply pressure in the front so that the enemies can't even get close to your ball carrier. But both Piggy and KingJay electing to play the back of the silo, ultimately play the ball a bit early, and now it's NaVi with ball time and possession of gold.
Yeah, the ideal scenario there, Eli, as we all know, is to almost go all 4 down at the back of the seat. You'd almost rather, I would argue, if you're going to play the ball there, jump off with it maybe. Because then you give yourself the best chance to get that flip spawn over at the gold frag side. Even though I think Jimbo was top glass, you could have at least maybe spawned around the needle side, somewhere where you could at least contest that reset along the barriers of B as Glory continues to push up. Has that pre-fire lined up on KingJay, but misses the shock rifle shot. Plenty of shots to work with, and he's gonna clean it up. KingJay with that slay. 3 go down for LVT. Sab, last player alive. Wants that shock rifle for himself, but Glory gonna play a little keep away.
I think Glory is hungry this tournament. I think he recognizes this could be his breakout tournament. If he shows up and shows what he's capable of, this could be like his shining star moment, because he really is a star in the making, in my opinion.
It comes down to consistency.
Yeah, and he's just got to do it. Like, this is the weekend. This is the most important weekend to do it. And so far, he's proven up to the challenge.
Yeah, it's easy to mention the stats, but Glory right now at 18 and 11. But sometimes he'll have that really odd, like 4 and 16 oddball recharge. So for him, it's going to come down to consistency, I believe, where we know what his ceiling looks like. Can he maintain a nice floor? So we see 3 go down for LVT once again. But here's that scenario. There we go. All 4 go down, and LVT will spawn at the reset here. But Jimbo's ready for it. But he gets baited out. So a much more well-played process, much more well-timed process there from LVT is there right back in it.
Diagram just had what looked to be a perfect grenade on both Mighty's and Glory. Takes down Glory. Piggy getting the reset, the rotation all the way into gold. This is great that he was able to survive this long. Sab can kill this glass player. They know they have to worry about the other side of the pipes. Looks like the rotation is coming in, but members of NaVi collapsing from all sides. They're unable to actually get any more time here from LVT.
Big trade there on Mighty. He goes down, but not before NaVi pick up that oddball. Once again, 70 to 57. We see Snipedrone looking to stay alive. The chase grenade doesn't take one down, surprisingly enough. I thought for sure he might even have a double there.
Wow.
But instead, it's Snipedrone going down. Diagram looking for a double. It's Sab instead as he takes down Jimbo. It's a collective double for the team. And nice possession there, though, from NaVi as they build on the lead, get that reset out, and have enough contention on the side of gold to potentially pick it right back up.
That was the difference right there between Navi's setup and LVT's that we saw at C earlier. Was they played up. They made sure that the enemies were unable to get to their ball carrier. Also, Glory milked the ball for as long as humanly possible before playing it and killing the player that was aggressing him. Almost perfectly played by NaVi in that situation to get now only 14 seconds from winning this game, but it's not over yet.
Snipedrone looking to make his move here through the camo box. Spots Diagram, but Diagram with the pew-pews of the plasma pistol from top gold, and the distraction going to be enough to take down Snipedrone. Love that rapid fire from Diagram as he maintains the attention of NaVi on him here at top gold. This is where I like to see LVT maybe try to sneak an oddball with so many players focused on Diagram, but no, that attention stays on Diagram. Now it's on the likes of Piggy as well as he trades out with Glory. Diagram with another 1v1 with Snipedrone. The use of that plasma pistol going to be enough.
Ooh.
The shock rifle on the competing side is going to make
Wow.
scurry away with low shields, and the cleanup is on Jimbo. Look at how quickly he picks up that oddball. That's the difference. Rotating it instantly to see. This could be it.
Not only that, but he trusted the call that that player was one shot, goes to finish that player so he can safely grab the ball. This could be it right here.
And that will do it. Unfortunately,
Wow.
it's LVT going down 3-0 to NaVi, and you got to tip your cap to them because NaVi came correct. They seem to have put in a lot of time and work because this isn't a NaVi team. I'd say LVT was playing a little bit less of what we expect from them, but NaVi was, let's not discredit NaVi. Let's not act like NaVi wasn't playing maybe 2 times the optimal efficiency we saw from them at Fort Worth. Is they look primed to potentially be another one of those EU Cinderella stories into the top 4 maybe, who knows?
I think NaVi has been inspired by the success of Quadrant. They say Europe Halo is officially on the map, and we can do that too. And I think they've been studying their European cohorts and kind of taking on some of the strategies of Quadrant, honestly. And in my opinion, this is one of the most improved rosters of the season is NaVi. Just the way that they've been playing. Their placements haven't always shown it, but they've been putting up better and better fights against the top teams, and they've had good series like these where they're blowing out other top 12 teams. So I think that they absolutely could make a run at this.
Yeah, you look back at NaVi's season, and it's just outside of a couple unfortunate tiebreakers in pool play, their story could be completely different. Maybe this is the event where they don't even have to worry about a tiebreaker, and they just push through to championship bracket with momentum, with a good night of sleep, like you always talk about, Eli. And those are important. Those are important facets, and I think it's especially important when you look at those 3-0s and you're laying in bed at night. You have nothing. Maybe you got a few things that you would have thought of, or you're not losing sleep over any of it. I should say, right? There's nothing that it's like, oh man, I wish we had that, or I wish I did this differently. NaVi right now, with the way they're playing, are going to be able to take a nice rest at the end of the night, as we're going to take a quick break.